Oh, yeah. to it, honey.
Hi, everybody. I'm here. Wow, that was fun. Engineer Dan is here. I was also looking at the background at the same time that I was doing this. I saw that I could put background on my blue shirt. That's pretty funny, huh? Dan is sprung today. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. We're going to talk about just how much Dan is sprung. Let's bring up the chat. Thanks all 7 million people joining me for the free music. It's free, free, free. I'm not charging you a thing for the music. Mammy Dan's bitter half. Better and bitter. I'm going to hide the man behind the curtain for the moment. Let me see. Let me make some adjustments here. That's impossible. There's no adjusting. By the way, to everyone in the Philippines, happy Aquino Day, this day in history. Let's talk to Aquino, by the way. Let's have an interview with Aquino. Aquino, no, I can't do it. That's terrible. Aquino has declined the interview with Dan today. That would be totally a disrespectful thing to do. But we do want to talk about it a little bit. I have it in my phone. I'm going to bring it up in a second here. Aquino Day, this day in history. In case you don't know what happened, I remember this all too well. Yes, Ninoy Aquino Day is a national holiday. It's a national non-working holiday. For those of you that don't know, in the Philippines, observed annually on August 21st, commemorating the assassination of Senator Benigno Nino Aquino Jr. If you remember this, maybe you know because you weren't here, but you should pay us for listening to that noise. Oh, Beautiful Tox is here. Beautiful Tox is here. Thanks for joining us, Tox. It's got to be really early in the morning there in La Union, right? Okay, so here's the deal. He was, now, I don't know if you remember, but I remember this well because he was in exile, I believe, in the United States, and they returned back to the Philippines to run against Marcos. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think Marcos is going to have any kind words today? You think Marcos is going to do a speech or an acknowledgement of today? I'm not sure. Because Marcos, he doesn't appear to be anything like his father whatsoever. Anyway, he was the husband of, as you know, Corazon Aquino, and it sparked the move to democracy and a lot of other things. If you don't know the history behind this, I encourage you to go in there and read about the history, especially this event, which was tide turning for democracy in the Philippines, the People Power movement, definitely. This is when they decided they wanted to kick the U.S. out and the whole thing. You know, colonialism is dead, forever dead. Get the U.S. out of there. So, of course, once that occurred, Corazon Aquino said, "Heck, I'm not standing here and taking this crap. You know, you guys just you assassinated my husband. I'm running for president of this here Philippines," and she won, of course. Of course, you know, then a lot of sad, tragic events have happened in the family. As you know, we lost Benigno Aquino recently. Terrible. Anyway, his assassination led to the downfall of Marcos, and you know, as they say, the rest is history. You know, of course, then the Marcos family. I got to tell you, folks, the Marcos family has always been friends of the United States, and so when this occurred, then Marcos and his family got exiled. They were well received in the United States. And the way I feel about it is, you know, it's deeply rooted in history, the friendship between the Marcos family and the United States. I think it's important that you don't understand this, that you need to learn about it. And, and sometimes history books lie, folks. Sometimes the history isn't accurate. But I would encourage you that if you don't know what today is all about and the ramifications of the people power movement, go find out about it. I had a friend who was here on the very day that the event started to take place, where everybody started gathering in Manila, and the rest, as they say, like I said, is history. This is a celebration of a man getting assassinated just because he wanted to come back to his homeland. That's right. And so, of course, as oftentimes happen, it didn't go exactly the way Marcos number one had thought that it would go initially. And so, agree. Not all written in history books is true. That's right. In fact, in the United States, they're brilliant. They are the experts in revisionist history. I mean, where's it written, for example, that the blind Helen Keller was a communist? Where's it written? Where's it written? All we kept hearing about Helen Keller is that she just found her way through life and all. She did all these fantastic things, but she was a communist. She was a socialist, and she was head of the Communist Party, I believe. Anyway, dues paying member. I mean, this is why reading about history is very, very important, because basically they're teaching us a lot of revisionist history, and it's important to know whether you agree with anything or not. That it may be your belief system or not, but the whole idea is you learn things that are extremely thought provoking. As Larry Lee is saying, crystal history is written by the winners. And so, all is forgotten about this. All is forgotten. If it weren't, then we wouldn't have the U.S. Coming back here and partaking in the use of U.S. bases. I mean, it's a very, very long story that has a lot of drama to it. So anyway, I don't want to go into it right now, but today is a national holiday, a non-working holiday. So they're not expecting you to be working today. The banks are closed, government offices are closed. And I hardly heard a peep of anybody talking about Monday today. No one even told me. No one told me that today was a national holiday. I had to find out about it myself when I was researching, what happened in the Philippines on this day in history. Then I was embarrassed for myself. And I should be, because I should know the history of the Philippines. All right, so that's a little bit heavy to start off the morning. Let's move it along, because this is about Dan being unsprung. And so let's talk about a few articles I ran into that caught my attention the last couple of days. Let's see, no holiday for me. I'm still working. Yeah, most Filipinos are, by the way. Government workers and healthcare workers and the like are probably, and the bankers, because they're bankers. They're probably sitting home enjoying their life right now. You know what I think about that? Nice work if you can get it. That's kind of what I think about that. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit, because we touched on this the other day, right? The 8 things that boomers should never buy in retirement is written by a guy named John Caesar. And you can find this article. At where? I have no idea. Just put his name in, and you want to put the title 8 Things Boomers Should Never Buy in Retirement. The reason why I found this to be such an amusing article, the reason why I would like to share it with you, Micah Sink, today is World Mosquito Day. That's a very, very important day. Very important day, because the mosquito machine outside on the terrace is hard at work. And I'm going to be doing a video on that soon. And so it's one that you will not want to miss. I'm not sure it's going to be a short video, But if it isn't, it should be. All right, I'm having fun already. 8 things you should, the boomers, they're my age from 1954 until what, 1960 something. You should not, uh, you should never buy in retirement, written by some snot-nosed kid that's still living in his mother's basement. See, now, was that a nice thing for me to say? Because listen, this has no meaning probably in the Philippines, right? Because the Philippines is all about family and it's all about communal living. But how would a kid living in his mom's basement know anything about me? And so this is always interesting when I read stuff like this. 8 things boomers should never buy in retirement. They simply should not be able to afford it. And so I want to talk about that to start things up. Naomi's here. Moama, thanks for joining us. All right, one of them, number 1 on the list. This one cracks me up. Or number 8 on the list, I should say. Actually, I don't know where it is on the list. It's probably number 8. Number 8 on the list is, and then it builds up to number 1, is overpriced vacations. Huh? Huh? So I'm retired, right? Not everybody. Nitban is here. Nitban, mosquitoes kill more people in the world than any other living being. Good morning, Dan and everyone. Well, that was a bright, that was a nice greeting, Nitban. Thank you so much for that factoid. That's news that you could use. We so much miss Nitban in this stream. So we're so happy that you're here. So number 1 on the list, that boomers should absolutely not be spending their money on is overpriced vacations. It's only natural to want to take a vacation. Well, you're retired. All of retirement is a vacation. I don't have to go anywhere. I just sit in front of my 98-inch TV set with the remote control, and I could be anywhere in the world within minutes, within moments, right? I could be in Kathmandu. I could be climbing Mount Everest. I could be in Alaska. I could be anywhere I want to be. Uh, it's only natural to want to take a vacation since you're retired. Hello. Hello. What did I just say? In fact, some retirees try to make it a lifestyle. Hello, Dan? Dan and Minnie. So it's not overpriced because I wouldn't be able to afford it. Man, meaning I would not be able to afford an overpriced vacation because we're retired. Hello, hello, hello. Even if you're retiring with a 7-figure nest egg, that doesn't mean you can take $50K. That's 50,000 US dollars. Round the world cruise every year. No. I wouldn't take one every year. I would take one every other year. What a buffoon. All right, we got to go to number 7. That one is absolutely driving me insane. Next, extravagant gifts. Really? And so Tim is saying I'm starting to plan my Canadian vacation for next year. How extravagant will it be, Tim? Why don't you share it with us? Are you staying in that youth hostel again or the elder hostel? They got great deals if you get the elder care hostel package. Yeah. Dan, can I ask where your hat is? Mammy, she took it, did something with it. It's a long story. I have no idea where it is. She is hiding it from me. She's hiding it. Extravagant gifts. It says retirees are often generous with their money, enjoying the feeling that they get from helping out family and loved ones. Okay, now I realize that I'm totally and completely within the normal range, right? And maybe I'm not unhinged. Maybe I'm not yet sprung. Let's continue reading, But it's important to curtail the urge to give pricey gifts to everyone you know, because before you know it, you'll be depleting your savings. Well, what if you don't have any savings? Like most of us. What if you have no savings? Then can you be as extravagant as you'd like? Jerry, I call South Texas home. 1.8K videos online so far. 10 per week if he gets the chance. He uploads. All right, so forget about that. That doesn't even make any damn sense, right? And like, you okay, when Dan leaves, you think they're going to be taking all my gold and throwing it on top? You think they're going to be doing that? In other words, do you think that if Dan has money left over, after his death, they're just going to take the money and throw it in the hole with me? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think Man Mini is going to spend it way before then. I think I'll spend it way before then. Why not? Why not? You only live once. And as they say, you can't take it with you, right? You can't take it with you. So why are you concerned about? I think this kid is just jealous. That's all. I think because he doesn't have the ability, to spend money. So Tim is saying, I will go visit my sister and her family, relaxing in the great outdoors. Oh, she's putting a tent for you up in the backyard. That's very nice of her, Tim. Is it coming with a Weber barbecue? Is that still made in the States or is that made in the Philippines now? Do you know? Do you have any idea? It used to be an American product. I understand it got a little bit too expensive to produce those cheap grills in America. So now they do it in Southeast Asia with cheap labor. Unneeded home renovations. Huh? Again, I say, huh? What would be unneeded? So right now we have a hurricane, which is they call it a typhoon here, that is hitting LA. But it turns out that by the time it hit for some reason, I don't know how this happened, but for some reason, uh, it hit the Mexican border, the Mexican U.S. border, and then it went from a Category 1 to a tropical storm, and now it's heading up. It's heading up towards the north, towards Arizona and the like. So it just hit now, and it's raining like crazy. And I was watching a live stream, and the L.A. River, which is just it's a wastewater canal that goes through Long Beach and then dumps everything out at the Pacific Ocean, is filling up really, really fast. So it's not really the wind and the rain that's getting them, it's the flooding that could result because they can't evacuate the water quickly enough. And so I already have seen 3 or 4 cars being swept away down the river. But what were the cars doing in the canal? That's what I'm trying to figure out. There are a couple places that I know of because I used to live there, right? I grew up there. We can drive down and into the canal. You got a date, you got no place to go, and so you go underneath there and find a bridge, right? You go underneath the bridge. Well, I don't know. I don't know what they were doing underneath there. Probably the same thing that I was, but their cars got washed away down the canal, and the fire department, as long as the people were rescued, they're not concerned about saving the car. The car they'll find out there in the Pacific Ocean once it gets dumped down in there, right? The big danger though in that is that there's somebody else going to be down in there, and then the car once the water level gets high enough, it'll sweep that car up, and then it may crash into another car that shouldn't be down there in the canal. Tim, she will have a heater in the tent, or you will have to have a campfire. Yeah, yeah. That's part of outdoor living, right? Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. So we have a tropical storm hitting LA right now. Tropical storm Hillary. The water temperature is colder in California than there in the Gulf. That's right. So it was actually something like, from what I read, it was something like 85 degrees in the Gulf, and then it comes into this cool Pacific water, which is at 68. This ain't Florida, for crying out loud. California ain't Florida. And then it just went. It started to wind down. There's nothing to keep it going. So that is absolutely true, Jerry. It went from something like 85, 87-degree water temperature to 68, the current temperature. How do we know that? Because there was an actual guy, hydrologist, or I don't know what the guy was, but I don't even know if that's the right term. Geologist, hydrologist, meteorologist. I don't know who he was. He was a young kid, a young buck in grad school, and he had the maps. He has the maps right now all on YouTube. He's giving us the play-by-play, And I guess we have buoys out there in the Pacific that tells us what the water temperature is. So, and it's accessible online, and so all he has to do is go in there, bring it up, shows us what's going on, and bam, you got all the information that he's got, right? And so it's a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing. Nick Ban is saying, but if one is spending only the interest earned on the nest egg, keeping it untouched, yeah. You're not buying into that whole thing, are you, Nitban? Right? You're not buying into that whole 4% rule, right? Because it don't exist anymore in Nitban. It's more like a 2% rule. And so if it's a 2% rule that you take out every day, well then okay, I could live very, very well in the Philippines on that money if I were to take out 2% every year, right? Yeah. Thank God I'm here in the Philippines, but it wouldn't last me a month in the United States. Oh, Crystal's Adventure is here. She has her warm milk with her. Let's see. Larry Lee is saying California also has an earthquake. That's right. We not only had an earthquake, we had a swarm of them there. The largest one being somewhere between 5.1 and 5.5. Because I monitored earthquake in California, I could see it. I could see the earthquake going in Ojai. That's not OJ, guys. It's not OJ. That's a whole different story, right? This is Ojai. It looks like OJ because because it's OJAI, pronounced Ojai. And so the alert went off. Earthquake, earthquake. We're having an earthquake. Is that an earthquake? Is that an earthquake? Get under your desk. And so, yeah, I'm sure all the people live streaming from LA, they climbed underneath their desk. But anyway, so then we had a series of them. It was something like 5.1, 3 point something, it just kept going and going and going. And that's worrisome when you get earthquake swarms. Kind of let you know that some other event could possibly be happening, because in a very, very small percentage, the aftershocks are larger than the original earthquake. Yeah, so people are they're a little bit nervous. Mike Married says, question Dan, did you get a burial plot in the Philippines paid for and extra insurance? I don't need extra insurance because I have cash. See, I have cash and Minnie has secured the plot. And so everyone should do this, right? She knows where the cash is hidden, and all she has to do is get it out of my underwear before they ship the body off to the morgue, right? So she bought a family plot, and all is good, all is good in the neighborhood. Let's see. Alaskan current moving cold water south. That's a good thing, Mike. Grandpa Jim's in the house from Sacramento. There was a 5.1 quake in Ventura today also. So, it's earth, when these storms come in and they lubricate these fault lines, we start having earthquakes all over the place. I think this is one of the things that geologists have figured out, is that, it may be a good thing because it releases that buildup. It lubricates, not that kind of lubrication, but it lubricates the cracks. And then, what did I just say? I take it all back. Listen, it does that. And then what ends up happening is it releases that buildup boom, because it's being lubricated. And that's really a good thing, because it may delay the big one, the big one that wipes LA off the map. It may wipe it right off the map. So let's see, who else do we have here? LV. Good morning, Sir Dan, and everyone. LV. Thanks for coming. Thank you for being a fan. LV Rose is here. Everything is right in the world as far as I'm concerned. Ojai did it. Yep. Ojai probably put something in the ground to make it happen. You know how they are in Ojai. They just aren't the same kind of people as the rest of us in the world. Good morning. Nicole is here. Hi, Nicole. How are you? 14 million people in the chat today. We're moving right along. Mike is saying, let's lubricate the crack, all right. And let NorCal fall off into the ocean. Well, what can I say? What can I say? I'm speechless by the comment. Okay, let's see. Jerry, I watched two-story houses way back and forth. Charmaine is here. Charmaine, how are you? All right, so now let's see. Okay, so now next on the list, we already covered unneeded home renovations. So the Home Depot isn't going to like this person that wrote this article when they say one of the things retired people should not do is do unneeded home renovations. Only do the needed repairs, and then let your house go to hell in a handbasket. So because you won't meet. So here there's a contradiction here, right? Is there not a little bit, or maybe not? He's saying save the cash so that you could, and don't buy expensive, don't do expensive home renovations, so you can transfer all what's left over to your kid. And so that's where this dude is coming from, right? Dean is here. Hi, Dean. That's where this dude's coming from. This is the kid living in his mom's basement or the spare bedroom. Probably he's 40 years old or so. He's probably a little bit older. He could be my age. And he's saying, he's basically saying, save the money for me. So is anyone here in the chat surprised that he would be talking about this? And so Nipan says, not yet, Mike. Let me retire first. Well, you're going to retire early, right, Nipan? You do plan on retiring early. I mean, you're relatively young. You're basically a kid. And so you have a few more working years. But in order to get that done, you have to actually return back to work, Nitban. You can't be on vacation. See, if I were writing this article, I would say, Nitban, you cannot be on vacation forever. So Larry's out. Bye. See you later. I forgot that you worked that day. You probably worked a double today, huh, Larry? All right. Be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, always try to have fun. We will do our best. All right. Where's the next one? Unneeded renovations. Oh, discretionary items you can't pay for with cash. Most retirees live more or less on a fixed income. Really? Rocket scientist? You have limited income, right? Well, hello, but my income was limited before. Yeah. Nothing has changed. It's the same. My income was limited to how many hours I could work in a week. And I was spending every dime of it. Folks, you see how ridiculous this is? This is young. I say it again. This is some young snot-nosed kid saying, save your money for me. I don't know what to do with it. And then after the kid gets the money, what does he do? He makes unnecessary renovations on the house you left him. This is hilarious. I know there might be a cultural divide going on here. There might be. I got some Filipinas, Filipino or two in the house that they won't understand what I'm talking about because it's a cultural thing. We don't live like that here in the Philippines. We don't live like that. They don't kick the kid out of the house once you turn 18. But I'll tell you what is having an influence, right? What is having an influence over the culture is social media. And social media is convincing everyone because they're seeing it on TV. They're convincing little kids, 18 years, they're saying, at 18, you need to be on your own because that's the way we do it in the West. And the West is best. So you get out. You get out of the house and you go on your own. You make it on your own. Otherwise, you have to be in school if you want to live under my roof. So what do? Well, you do like this kid. First you get your bachelor's degree. and then you get your master's degree, and then you get a doctorate, and then you have some more postgraduate education. Next thing you know, the parents are dead and you inherit the house. You never have to leave. That's the plan. That's the plan here. What's next on my list? We talked about this the last live stream. Timeshares. Timeshares can seem like a great deal to retirees. Yeah, because you're flaunting your wealth or your the imaginary wealth that you have to others, to your friends. Hey, I got my 2 week block of time. I'm not going to be using it this year. You want to use it? I'll give it to you at a discount. And then your friends suffer. Your friends end up suffering because they have to occupy. They say, yeah, I kind of know that Dan needs the money. I think I'll just go and I think I'll help him out and spend the 2 weeks in Maui. Oh, oh, no, I did not go there. I did not do that, did I? This degree that yeah, you need the degree to work at Jollibee, exactly. So I mean, you don't want to do the timeshare thing. It's going to be a totally bad experience for you. Next thing, excess life insurance. I think this is valid. It's because I don't know why, right? But so I have had friends in the past, right? Friends that tell me, oh man, I got nothing to leave my kid, and I better go out and buy some life insurance. Oh, it's a little bit too late for that, folks. Folks, if you're in your 50s, when you decide that you're going to buy life insurance, what you're basically doing is buying death insurance. You feel bad all of a sudden because you got no money that you're going to be leaving your kid, and so you go out and you buy a $450 or $500 a month policy because they don't want to insure you anyway, but they do as long as you're willing to pay the high premium prices. And then when you pass away, your kid gets $500,000. Folks, don't worry about the kids; they'll be fine. That's my advice for you. Don't worry about them. They'll make their way in the world. They'll be just fine. Don't go out there and spend. I'll tell you what. Instead of giving the $500 a month premium to to the insurance company, give it to your kid as an allowance. They'll truly appreciate it because they'll be able to spend the money now, and they'll be grateful because they probably are in a situation where they need it. So Crystal's Mike married to a beautiful woman. We've got. I'm going to win 48 million on Wednesday. Is that all? Is that all, Mike? Really? Let's see. Is that what the lotto's up to? Marion is here. Alexandre O Grande is here. Thank you so much for being here. Is that somebody's ninja account? Hey, are you trying to trip me up? Alexandre the Great. Are you trying to trip me up? All right. So now let's go on to the next one. Out of network medical services. You can't get any more out of network than having your insurance in the United States and then living in the Philippines. But I did share with you that I was thinking way ahead, and so I have all the insurance I need for the Philippines. I don't have to buy any. I have a plan that's hooked up to my Medicare, and so if something happens to me, some emergency takes place here, I am covered. I'm covered through reimbursement. I've done a video on this, and I've gotten a swarm of emails, huh? And then you have to go through the reimbursement process. What a pain in the ass. I go, it's even a bigger pain in the ass to buy the insurance here that isn't worth anything because they won't cover anything. And we've talked about that before. You come here, you have a young kid, right? And he's talking about Pacific Cross and Pacific, whatever they're trying to sell, right? On YouTube. You have that young kid that lives in Makati that I really, really like his channel because we're like thinkers except for this. You have to always say, I'm giving you the perspective of a 30-year-old, you see. All right, because it's very affordable health insurance, the kind that he's talking about, comprehensive coverage, is very affordable at age 30 in the Philippines. But guess what? Let's say you pay these premiums, right? These premiums every month. And then all of a sudden something happens, like you turn age 60 and then the premium quadruples, it goes so high up. And then you go call your agent and say, hey, why is my premium payment going up so high? And they say to you, well, you ain't getting any younger, kid. You ain't getting any younger. And so it's worse. It's a worse situation than them using actuarial charts. They just make an assumption that, oh, at age 60, you're closer to death. So, we really don't want to insure you. Thanks for being a friend. Thanks for allowing me to give you 30 years of my premium payments. And now you're telling me to go get lost? Sucker. You're better off self-insuring. I'm telling you, or having a supplemental plan. Once you turn 65, you become eligible for Medicare. You will get a supplemental plan that covers you when you travel overseas. Let me see. Oh, let me give you an example. So now they have group coverage. For example, they have senior advantage plans. I did not go with one of those because it was comparatively it was too expensive. But let's say you want continuity of care and you decide that you're going to go with a senior advantage plan that is available to you through work. So you've been maintaining the same plan, and they call you and say, hey, you can have continuity of care by taking this senior advantage plan, right? They will reimburse you overseas if you make that transition. If you go traveling, you end up in the hospital for an emergency, any reason whatsoever, right? An emergency, and you're admitted, they cover you. And so out of network medical services, are you really going to be concerned about that if you're having a heart attack like a friend of mine did in the Philippines and he has to go get care in the local hospital? Are you thinking about out of network medical services, or are you thinking about surviving until tomorrow? See, that's the key. Those are the kind of things that you have to think about. Aileen is here. Aileen. Okay, and then it says here, I like this section though a lot. Things your kids should be paying for. It's only natural to want to spend money on your family after you retire, especially your children and grandchildren. This is the reason why most people don't travel, folks. It's because their parents are still alive. They'll miss their grandkids. I mean, that's what they make. I mean, for crying out loud, that's what they make what app for, and that's what they make. Yeah, I know. You got some of you are thinking that I'm a cold-hearted bastard. You know? That's what Skype is for crying out loud. That's what this is for. Keeping in touch with your kids, for crying out loud. They're high tech. Here's what happens: you go home to visit your grandkids. They spend 5 minutes with you. Better than that, right? This is a true story a friend of mine told me about. He goes home after traveling for a couple of years in Southeast Asia, and his kids don't even want to meet with him. They want to have, they don't even want to meet with him, right? They want to talk to him through Skype, and they're right there in the same town. They can't even come up with a schedule, a time where they can get together to give each other a hug. No, I prefer Skype, Dad. We can. It's too inconvenient. It's too much of an interruption of their life. It reminds me of that song, Cats in the Cradle. You don't want me to sing it. Tim, do you want me to sing Cats in the Cradle for you? Tim is saying, no, Dan, no, we understand. We know what you're talking about. You know what song I'm talking about. Oh, man. They were both screwed. They didn't get the benefit of each other's love, But everyone is different. And that's important to remember, So in the tail end of this, he says, this list isn't meant to tell you how to live your life. Now, should that not have been the first thing that he said, right? No, Dan, right? Don't sing. Cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. The little boy grew up. All right, so caveat, everyone is different. So for the last one, he says, don't listen to me, right? Which I wasn't going to do. He says, this isn't meant to tell you how to live your life after you retire, but it's a reminder that spending on certain items in retirement is more likely to cause you financial difficulty than what? What? Well, folks, it's very, very difficult. I I recommend that you not attempt to peek into your friend's wallet. This is a bad, bad. Sakbuchi is here. Daisy Lynn Castro. She sings like a bird. You guys haven't signed. If you guys aren't in Daisy Lynn's channel on a daily basis, except Sundays, which is family days, but sometimes she has a premiere, right? You need to go in there and discover her. You need to discover her, and you need to discover R.A. Garcia. You guys are missing out. You need to go in and sign up, subscribe to Pinky Gray. You will not be disappointed. I am telling you, you will not be disappointed. One of the things on the bucket list, right, is when I start heading north. When Man Meeting 9, when we start heading north, we're going to be stopping in. Yeah, we're going to be stopping in to see Daisy Lynn for sure. Absolutely. Daisy Lynn is number one on the visit priority list this time around. And Tim is saying, after traveling over 8,000 miles, I had family complain about mine not driving 10 miles to see them. They drove by me 4 times in 3 days and didn't stop. That's what I'm talking about. That happens more time than not. The whole other thing is a fallacy. You are going to be in the ground soon. You, no, not you, Tim. You're going to live forever. And then what will you do lying there dead in the ground? I mean, philosophy does come into play, though. I'm talking about philosophy and religious philosophy. Philosophy in general is what I'm talking about. I don't mean to turn the whole thing towards a religious discussion. That really wasn't the intent. Then you'll have to talk about, then I'll have to explain my belief system to you, and you won't care for it. I guarantee it. It's a Catholic country. You won't care for it. Okay, so we need to dispense with that. We need to dispense with that whole thing, right? Because you don't have to do a dang thing. Because no one even here, hey, no one's saving any money that I know of. Kids or adults that are retired or working or otherwise. I don't know. I don't have a single friend other than Knitband who's saving money right now. And I'm trying to encourage Knitband to spend it. Knitband is kind of looking at me like, hey, Dan, thanks, but no thanks. You're a nice guy, but financial advice, the whole armchair quarterbacking thing, I'm not into at all. The stock market is not going to crash in my lifetime. It's going to still keep growing forever. And then even if it does crash, I'll just keep buying stock, keep buying equities, But how about instead of all that, you invest in wild wild antics, like drinking until you're falling over drunk, you know, get all your women friends together, invite them over to the house, get them drunk too, have a good time with it. That's an investment in your future. That's an investment in your future that could have very, very high returns. I'm just saying it's quite possible that you would have a more enjoyable experience doing that. I mean, how do you know? How do you know unless you actually try, right? Mike at Hey Joe, Blackbird Morning has broken. Cat Stevens. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Cat Stevens, right? Didn't they label him some kind of a Muslim terrorist or something? Hey, I don't think he is. I don't think he is. Wasn't he banned for the United States for a time? And they worked the whole thing out. He somehow ended up on the don't fly list. Yeah, exactly. Never listen to what Dan has to say, for crying out loud. You guys already know this before you even come in here to the stream. You already know this. Okay, I have other stuff to talk about. I have other stuff to talk about. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, wait, I'm getting instant messages. Oh, no, I can't read those to you. Hey, by the way, we're going to be drawing today, and we have stuff to pick down here. Piggy's down here relaxing the pig pen, yeah. He's turned around. I'm paying too much attention to him, so he's turned around and is walking the other way. Yeah, of course. Look, yeah, we got debits in there. What do they call these? Bingo things. You know, we're going to be pulling the number. Oh, let's see. I had other stuff I wanted to talk to you about. Let's see. Let's see what it was. Oh, yeah. Touch. Let's just touch real quickly. Everybody knows because it's all over the news that the dollar exchange rate, that the peso is becoming stronger against the dollar right now, right? The dollar's weakening. Okay, so this is temporary. This is going to last up until September when the Fed meets and they jack up the basis points another 25. But hey, what if they decide they want to jack it up another 50? Instead of 0.25, they go 0.50 because their main objective is to destroy the U.S. economy. I mean, that's what I think the main objective is. It's not about inflation. Inflation's kind of under control. You know, I mean, if you think about it here in the Philippines, you know, they had, let's see, inflation went down, you know, month over month, quarter over quarter went down. It almost went down 2 complete basis points. That's a lot. And so that's why the central bank didn't raise the rates when they met August 17th. They said, let's stay level. And then if we need to, we'll go and we'll buy some dollars, you know, because it's supply side, it's reserve. They need to buy dollar reserves in order to keep everything in check. So everything is working fine for the Philippines right now, even though we are suffering from a little bit of inflation. And Tim is saying, Dan, when is Minnie taking her swearing in? We're starting to wonder about that because it has been 2 months and a week. 2 months and 1 week. But we're gonna head back to Cebu pretty soon, probably towards the end of the month, because we got to go there anyway and pay our rent. We're in month 4 of living there, and so we got to get something out of paying the rent. So we'll be heading back pretty soon, and so we have not received any kind of notification yet that her citizenship has been approved, but you know it will because I read the law. They cannot deny her citizenship as a former as a Philippine born citizen. They have to restore it, right? So it's going to be approved. We just don't know when they're. I think what's happening is a lot of uh, Filipinos and Filipinas are coming back here and they're retiring. They're retiring to the Philippines and they're swamped right now. That's what I think is going on. So they said it would take 2 to 4 months, but my friends in high places are telling me it should only be about 2 months. And we should be hearing from them shortly. Thing is, we're going to be leaving for the United States pretty soon. October? And you know, I hope it gets done. I'm praying it gets done before then, because I told Minnie, you know, if it isn't, and we start heading into October, we haven't been called back to Manila, then we will show up there, and you know, we'll get our connects on it. You know what I'm saying? So let's see, Mike, married to a beautiful woman. Rise cost and is the barometer of inflation in the Philippines. Yes, and that's how you know that they're running at about a 4%, right? They're running at about a 4 or 5% because you could gauge it by the price of rice. By the way, folks, I don't know if you read the latest about rice. If I open this sack of rice, I probably won't be able to close it properly. So uh, I just would like to put this out there, and that is that I want you to go do your research on the type of rice that's being imported right now to the Philippines. and how the milling process impacts nutrients and other things about rice. I think that if you read about rice, then you're probably going to switch over to eating hamburgers from McDonald's. But listen. I eat plenty of rice. I'm not telling anybody to stop eating rice. I'm more or less telling people, you might consider eating a little bit more chicken, a little bit less rice, heading over to McDonald's once in a while to have a Big Mac. That's all I'm saying here. So go in there and take a look, and then you'll yes. So Mike, the other thought is that if it gets really really high, then the government will step in and subsidize it. They're probably already subsidizing it to a certain degree. So as pork risen in cost, it's starting to come back down, and the reason why it's starting to Tim knows probably what I'm talking about. Yeah, Mike, here's what's going on with pork. When people have no money to pay, it's supply and demand, and the price starts to come down. And now you're starting to see the price of pork come down a little bit. It's getting a little bit more competitive. And so if you go now, also, I encourage people, don't buy pork ready made. It's very, very expensive. But you go there, and on the day, the morning of the slaughter, in fact, what would be nice is that you actually see the pig being slaughtered, and then you go up to the counter and say, Can I have some pork chops? And then go ahead and cook them. I don't recommend that you keep pork hanging around and storing it for a very long period of time. So Mike is saying, I think it depends on the island. Well, once it starts declining in Cebu, that's a pretty good indicator that pork prices are declining everywhere, because Cebu is all about the pork, as you know. Cebu is all about the pork. It's world famous for their lechon baboy. Yeah. Um, Guys, I have something I want to share with you. Again, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here, but I don't really care for Mang Inasal's chicken. Lately, it's been tasting just a little bit too sweet. It's like they're putting sugar in there or something. I'm always getting suspicious when folks start adding sugar or honey or what's the other thing? Any kind of a sweetener of some type, to the chicken. Um, all I need is a tiny bit of lemon. You can take calamans if you want. While the thing is roasting, turn it on the spit. You put some calamansi on it, and maybe if you want to, a little bit of salt, just a little bit of salt. But other than that, there's no need to put anything else on it. And so, lots of pigs on Negros Oriental were killed. Nitban says I was buying chicken freshly butchered in front of my eyes. Yeah, that's the way you want to do it. Native chicken killed in front of your eyes, butchered in front of your eyes is the way to go. Mac Daddy is in the house. Mac Daddy, Mac Daddy, the Mac Daddy's here. All right, so Edward D. Beck. So here's the thing. That's the way you want to go most of the time, and plus it helps out the farmer that's growing the product, because you're most of the time you're going to be going direct farmer to fork, farmer to your table, farmer to your table, and then they'll be able to make some money instead of having to go take their live chickens to auction. They get this crappy price for it, and they're mad at the world until they have to take the next batch over, and they get a lousy price for it. So, hey, Filipina Raquel is in the house. Thanks so much for being here, Filipina Raquel. All right, so anyway, we're going to be drawn. But since I did bring up the pig thing, let me grab the pig. Right, all of life is turning into a pig's ass. It's turning to a pig's ass, and it's turning into the byproduct of the pig's ass right here. That's what's going on right now all over the world. It's not it's not the Philippines. It's the entire planet is in some kind of transition state. We're, we're moving into the next, whatever it is, economic transition, whatever it is that's happening. I really don't know what it's going to look like. But people are fleeing. They're, number one, they're fleeing. Go read, and you'll see that people in the West are coming over to the East, and they're screwing things up. So listen, I promise you, my friends, my fans that are here in the chat, my intentions are honorable. NEMC, Nomi, uh, Sekbuchi, I'm motivated to spread the love. I'm not here trying to spread Western culture. I'm trying to explain things so that it will help you decide. You'll think about the impact Western culture is having on your life. For example, if you react to things like commercials on YouTube or commercials on free television, that's a problem. Let's see. I'm going to deposit real. Yeah, your morning. We call it the morning constitution. Anyway, I do apologize if I offended anybody here today, but I'm giving you money. I'm giving you money today. There's going to be there's going to be money given away. Nomi saying we love you, Sir Dan and Ma'am Minnie, for who you are. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. In order to know me, to truly know me, is to love me. I'm a cynic. I really am. I'm a cynic. I just would like for you to be a little bit more cynical also. And a little bit more quizzical. One of my nicknames was Quizzical Dan. Listen, I have no change. I want to make this exciting. Let's see. Ladies, the word of the day is legs. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't think I could say that out loud. I think I could get a complaint. Hey, remember, this live stream is for adults only. If you're a kid under 16 and you don't have your mommy's permission to be in this stream, you need to make like lettuce and leaf. By the way, does anybody even know what lettuce is here in the Philippines? Yeah, I believe you do. I believe you do. They're starting to grow heck of tomatoes here, heck of oranges, heck of lettuce, and a lot of potatoes. They're starting to learn how to grow them here, which is all good for the economy of the Philippines. And so you guys are up and coming. You're not a third world country by any stretch of the imagination. You are a developing nation, but you're a fast growing economy, a very fast growing economy. And so we got to get the Philippines over the hump. And I know how they're trying to do it. They're trying to do it through consumption. They want you to spend your money in Metro. They want you to spend your money in the Home Asia store or Asian Home store, so that you can get home credit on a big brand new spanking 98-inch television set. Don't do it. Do not drink the Kool-Aid is what we say. Do not drink the Kool-Aid. Do not get swallowed up. Don't get swallowed up whole by the consumer culture. Let's just call it, from now on, let's just call it the consumer culture instead of the Western culture. That's really what we're talking about here. By the way, I just would like to remind everybody, I mentioned this in my last live stream. Least you forget, I wanted to mention it, that the United States is we're like number 1 or 2 debtor nation. So we're 128%. 128% of debt to gross domestic product. That is really bad. The only one that beats us, I think, is Ecuador. That's the only one that beats us out. We're number 2, right? That's 128% of GDP is debt. And here in the Philippines, you're not even reaching half of that. You're only like 60 or 60. You're in the sweet spot. You're in the sweet spot. And as soon as you come into the demographic sweet spot, then you're going to be good to go. The economy is going to take off. They're just waiting for a few more of you to get a little bit older, so they could convince you to get a mortgage on a Western style house, which a lot of people want. A lot of people want to have the Western experience. But if you were there, if you were in the United States, a Western country, if you were there and you saw how people lived, right, tents on the sidewalk of San Francisco, you wouldn't want to be there. So all you could do is listen to Dan and take his advice and stop dreaming that dream. I'm way better off. I'm going to tell you, if this house weren't paid for cash money, I would be living in a native house that I would have built on borrowed land. I would be just like everybody else. That's the way that I would be living. That's an enjoyable, stress-free way of living. I encourage you, continue to live that life. I'd be going to and standing outside the 7-Eleven or the Dunkin' Donuts, and I'd be using their internet for free, just like everybody else. Don't tell anybody, but that is the way that I do it. I have had to bribe a few people, but it was worth it. It's been worth it so far. You just give them a couple pesos, and they'll give you they're going to give you the code to get into the internet. All right, listen, I can't reveal all my secrets, what I've got going on. Yeah, I'd be living. What's wrong with that, Edward? What's wrong in living in a Pizza Hut? What's wrong with it? What do they call them? I keep forgetting the word. You guys know what I mean. It's just, listen, you could have one wall that is hollow block, or maybe even two walls, right? You're gonna have two walls that are hollow block, and the other are going to be they're going to be native home made out of native materials, soft materials. And Tim, he's concurrent with what I have to say. I usually live a stress-free life since I moved to the Philippines. And I agree with you. I mean, my blood pressure, I just had it checked a couple of days ago. It was perfect. They were looking at me, hey, you should have higher blood pressure than that. You're both fat and ugly. And I was looking at the nurse. Let me think about that. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I should have higher blood pressure than that. Because I'm heavy and I'm ugly. So those two things put together. Yeah, working at a 7-Eleven is quite challenging. Believe me, I know. Did you get a job there? Know me. I know that you got a job. Was it at a 7-Eleven? Where did you land a job? Did you get our requirements met? Did you get all your requirements done? When do you start work? Are you starting work today? Dan, I'm so ugly. Dan, you could stick my face in dough and make gorilla cookies. That's funny. All right, let's stop the pig while I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, I'll forget because I'm too full of myself right now. All right, but look, I'm going to show you what's in here, right? I'm only putting this bill in here today. That's all I got in my pocket. I got no coin. I do apologize. We're stuffing the pigs, but we're not stuffing it with that much. We're putting 50 pesos in here today, right? All right. And I'm going to slide that in here. I had a whole bunch of stuff to say, but I listening to myself talk, I'm boring myself right now. I got to fold it up a little bit more. Yeah. Hey, by the way, how can you tell the difference between a 20 and a 50 peso bill? Aren't they the same color? All right, so there it is. Look, I'm showing you right here. You can see the face. Oh, feed me, feed me, feed me, make me fat, stuff me. And so here it goes. Here it goes. All right, so you know how this works. KK's Travel and Education is here. So now here's the whole thing. This is how eat now, piggy, eat. Yes, a piggy is hungry. And so here's how this works. The last week of November. So you have plenty of time before Christmas. You're going to guess how much is in this piggy. If you turn out to be right, then guess what? You're going to win this piggy. And so, but I've been thinking about this. Someone said, hey, Dan, wait, you can't have them publicly reveal what their guess is, because then everybody's going to guess the same number. But if you guess the same number, what's going to happen is I'm just going to divide it up by all of you that pick the same number. So I think that what's going to happen is you're going to have to join me on the Facebook side, and then you're going to make your guess through private message. But I don't have all the details. You could PM me, right? When we get closer, I'll have the answer for you. You have to guess. How much do you think is in there now, though? Take a wild guess. Crystals, anime, guess. Tim, how much do you think is in there? You know there's 50 pesos in there. There's 1 million pesos, Mike said. We'll try and get there. I kind of doubt that I can get. I kind of think that even if I had 1 million pesos to give away, probably would not fit in that piggy. I'd have to get a bigger pig, but it is called Stuff the Pig, right? All right, listen, I've had too much fun. And so, you know what happens when I have too much fun? We have to call Man Mini over here to have even more fun. Oh, wait a minute. You guys need to know that, Naomi is saying that there's 500 plus in there. Nicole is saying 600. Well, that's fun. I really have no idea how much is in there, but I bet one or the both of you are close. You're at least 100 pesos within. You're probably within 100 pesos of getting it right. Oh, wait. I still haven't printed out. You know, Man Mini's been bugging me. Not only did she hide my hat, but she keeps insisting. She keeps saying, you know what, honey. She still calls me honey after 20 years. Yeah, 21 years, 22 years. She still calls me honey and dear. You know, she still uses terms of endearment. But she says, honey, you need to get off your dead ass and get this list copied. I took pictures of it and then I accidentally deleted the pictures. I took pictures of it. I can't, for some reason, it doesn't forward to my email the same as everybody else's stuff. You know, I keep having to bother Pacquiao Mertz for stuff. And she's got her hands full right now with her mom and all. But anyway, now, Man Mini, are you here? Guys, let me go talk amongst yourself while I go and see if Man Mini is here. I'll be right back. Man Mini, it's time to draw. Time to draw a number. Philippine Raquel TV, if you're listening in the BG or you're still in the chat, you want to know if you have a number, and you are number 33. So you're number 33. All right. Man Mini is here. Oh, we got things planned. We're gonna do everybody. We're going over to Mang Inasal because I want to get some halo halo. I love halo halo.
Mike and Happy Cora, how are you?
All right, Man Mini. Draw the number.
Hi, Anime.
Okay. Draw the number. Mini Snow's here. Anime Sexucci.
Hi, Mini.
Wait. Let's see the number. Okay, the number is 94. The number is 94. Number 94. Number 94 is Rider Adventure. I haven't seen Rider Adventure in here in a while, but I know that you're here because that's one of your all's ninja accounts. So we're going to have a winner. Rider Adventure. Going once. Call out. Rider Adventure. Going twice. Rider Adventure. Going 3 times. There you go. I knew you were here. Rider Adventure is the winner. Rider Adventure. Do me a favor and send me a reminder of your Gcash account. I know I have it, but I'm no hassle Dan. I'm retired. So you have to make it easy for me. You got to send it. You got to send it my way. Congratulations,
Who's one?
Rider Adventure.
This one.
All right. And we will see everybody in the next live. Be good and follow Larry's rules. Be good. You're welcome, Rider Adventure.
Mr. Larry.
We'll see everybody. Naomi, we'll see you.
Everybody.
We'll see
Naomi.
everybody. Aileen, Mac Daddy,
Yeah,
Mike,
bye.
thank you so much for
Okay.
showing up. We're going to see you on the next live. Take
Bye,
care.
guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.